Welcome back to the Indigo Auction, guys. It's your boy Lewis, and I'm back on the YouTube. It's been a hot minute, so I apologise that it's taken so long to get myself willing and able to speak to you guys. I don't know. I feel like motivation has been lacking a little bit over the holidays. Everyone gets a little bit lazy. Everyone's, gorging themselves on chocolate and other good stuff over Christmas. And I figured now that basically my weekly routine is getting back to normal, I should probably start making some content for you guys again. So, as promised, I was going to start a new series on the YouTube, and here it is. So today, guys, we're going to go through ungraded. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with ungraded, what we're going to actually do right here is we're going to just launch a cheeky little trailer.
Our goal was simple, to bring the same detail you'd see from holding a card in your hand to viewing it digitally. We've spent years building an imaging system that lets you examine cards as if they were right in front of you, from every angle, in ultra-high definition. We're putting that technology at the heart of a new marketplace, built from the ground up for ungraded cards, empowering buyers with confidence in condition. We're changing the trading card landscape forever.
So, pretty cool, right? I have no idea if you guys actually got any of the audio from that because I'm pretty new to fanning around with OBS or whatever. But basically, it's a really, really awesome site for picking up really good quality singles. Now, we all know that in collectibles, Pokemon cards, One Piece, football cards, like the condition of the cards means a lot to people. Maybe not so much to some people as it does to others, but if you really care about your collection being minty, like this is a site that I came across whilst I was sort of browsing YouTube, and it really put like a bit more, I don't know, it gave me confidence to go and buy cards, because I don't know about you guys, but when it came to getting singles off of eBay, I always found that there was something that was being hidden. I very vividly remember buying a Jungle Hollow Vaporeon, and it in the pictures it looked absolutely phenomenal. I was like, wow, like this is gonna definitely grade a 10. It looks amazing. Then it arrived. And my god, the hollow was so badly scratched. And I think that was the moment where I decided, do you know what? I need a better way to go about buying singles online. And Ungraded came along. So this is a company based in the United Kingdom. I believe they only ship slash sell in the UK at the moment. I have heard some whisperings that they are going to go worldwide, which I don't know, kind of makes me a little bit sad in a way, because I'm like, I don't want people, the rest of the world, to be able to come in and buy. Then on the other side of me is like, oh yeah, like it makes it more accessible, and collectors get good cards and all that stuff. So every single week they run like a set auction. Like people will submit the cards they want to sell, and then that auction then locks. And then that auction will generally run until the Sunday of that week that's ending. So as you can see, some of the big points they sort of advertise here. You've got 3D card viewing, which I will demonstrate shortly. Authenticity guaranteed. I quite like their stance on authentic cards, because there is a really cool way to look up fakes on this website. Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna have to open up another Google tab. Give me a second. Ungraded fake card. There we go. The fake card database. So they basically will have an image of the genuine card, and then they will have an image of the fake card. So if we load these up, when it loads, eventually, my computer is dying very slowly. Okay, bad example, but you get the idea. So they have like a whole like database which you can sort of go through. So I don't know. Let's choose. I don't know, the Lugia Neogenesis. So you can load up the cards. See if my potato is gonna do it this time. Okay, maybe not. That's that is a complete and utter fail. So that doesn't bode well for the 3D card showings, but I will do my best to show that off to you guys. So you can obviously submit your cards as well for selling if you're interested. I find generally the cards on here, like the big cards especially, do end up getting quite a bit of traction. And you can see that difference on the performance versus eBay tab here. So what they have is they basically take the selling. So here you go. Here's their the comparisons criteria here. So they base it on it being a UK based auction sale for an ungraded card. It's sold within the last 90 days prior to the listing. It matches all the card specifics, including subtle variants or errors. It matches the condition category, so near mint, lightly played, that sort of stuff. Passes a visual check of primary listing image to confirm condition. So they check the condition to confirm that is its actual condition. Not be a best offer accepted off of eBay. Not be a multi-quantity listing, and pass a range of checks for common spam listing practices. So you can see that they do actually put a lot of effort into these metrics, and they basically just have a nice big table here where they'll compare the comparable sales on eBay to the comparable sales on ungraded. So as you can see, the average total private seller generally earns a little bit more on the eBay seller, typically 4.8%. What is this period for? Does it say? Doesn't say. It might be just the current selling week. And then for business sellers, they're earning average of 20+% on their cards they're selling on here. So it's nothing. It's nothing to really sniff at. And they show you a few examples here. So they have the birthday Pikachu sold on eBay for these sort of prices, and ungraded they sell on here. And they are very transparent with it on here, so they will show you the big losses some people make sometimes. But as you can see, there's a lot more green than there is red on this graph. So I think you can generally see, like, oh, apart from the reds here, my god. But you know what? I do put this down to sometimes some of these cards you do have to really go digging for them in the marketplace itself. And that's generally where I find most of my gems that I want is I go into the marketplace, I choose like, I don't know, the lowest price card. Because I'm not necessarily all about the big cards, because I am obviously collecting for my personal collection. So I do pick up the Japanese Gym Heroes Gym Challenge stuff that comes up sometimes, and then a few other quirky cards to fill my PC. But without further ado, let's hop into the marketplace. So as you guys can see, some of these are listed as Premier. These are generally the higher end cards that are being sold on the site. And these are the ones that are generally showing right at the top of the listing. So they're going to be garnering like the biggest amount of attention. So we are on week 77, which ends on the 11th of January this week. So that's Sunday this week. And it's normally like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. The listings wrap up in like Greenwich Mean Time. So let's go through some of the listings and you can sort of get an idea of like what we're looking at here. So you do have two different formats, generally speaking, just the same as eBay. So there are buy it now cards, and then there are auction cards. Generally speaking, I find that the fixed price cards are a little bit over market, sometimes quite a bit so. But I think let's go into Mega Charizard. Why not? Let's have a look. So as you can see here, we have an image of the card Mega Charizard from Inferno X, a card that I still need. And without the 3D software right here, like you can see, you've got some very good quality images of the card itself. So you've got the back and the front. There are other tools on here, but I do need to see if this will work for me. Are you going to work for me? Oh, please. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a fail for the 3D imaging stuff. I'm not quite sure why that's not working, but we'll roll with it. We'll make it work. So generally speaking, you'll be able to click on a card and oh, there we go, fantastic. So you can actually like move your card around like this, and you can look at every single texture on this card, which for me is absolutely insane. So we've got a few tools here. So we've obviously got the zoom feature where we can go right in on the card and have a little gander at what's going on here. Sometimes, depending on the performance of your PC, it does take its toll on like your CPU and your RAM. So I'm actually going to whack that into performance mode just to help us go through these tools a bit easier. Cool. So now that it has actually loaded, you can see you get a good angle and some of the tools down here. So you've got the magnifying glass where you can really get down into the nitty gritties of the card. You can have a little look at the condition of the corners, for example. See, like, I don't know, is that potentially a little tiny little defect there? So if you're really out there looking for cards to grade, like, this is the place to come because these tools are very, very good. Like, I have not seen this from any other website to date, I don't think. So we can then turn off the magnifying tool. Say you want to get the bordering. You can play around with the centering tools here. You can line them up and you get an idea of like the ratios. I'll be honest, I'm not really a grader, so I don't mess around with these too much, but it does give you a good indicator of what to expect when it comes to the centering of your cards. So it obviously gives you all the information down the side here about the card itself. And yeah, generally a really, really good tool if you're wanting to really get into the nitty gritty of a card before you buy it. So, I think we'll go through a few of the cards here. We'll see, what good stuff we've got for this week's auction. Um, Obviously, I'm a little bummed out about the Charizard SARs. Anyone who knows me, or interacts with me on whatnot and on YouTube or Instagram knows that these are the cards that I just I just cannot pull for the life of me. But I refuse to open any more packs, and I don't have £450 to buy a card, a single card. I don't know. I'm very new back into collecting, and for me, £450 on a single card is kind of nuts. This Giratina note, I really love this card, and I can see why it's so popular in the Lost Origin set. Like all this detail that goes on the card itself, and this one generally looks in really good condition. Like, let's look at the back a bit closer. We are going to look at some lower end stuff as well, because I'll be honest, I do tend to find most of my good stuff down at the cheaper end, because everyone's always sucked in for these big cards, and that's the point of them being a premier card. Like, they want people to jump in and pay the big money for it. So if we have a look at the back of that looks clean. Is that a tiny? See, like, this is where you can get really nitty gritty. So I'm like, okay, what is this? Drag the mouse over, and you can see there's a tiny little dink, like right there. Can I get in even closer? Can I? Can I? Oh god. Okay, maybe not. But I don't know. You guys can probably see that. But there's two tiny little dinks there, which I don't know. I'm not a grader, like I said, but that might be the deciding factor between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10. Cool ass card. And obviously Bubble Mew from Paldean Fates. I'd love to have this in my binder. I do see a lot of these hitting a 10. I think these had a pretty good print run, to be honest. It really bums me out that I wasn't like in the hobby when these sets were really like out and about out there, because I would have 100% have gone in hard on a lot of these cards. Oh, I really like this Gardevoir Sylveon as well. I think I see the tag team's been going crazy, I've noticed, the last like 6 months or whatever. Oh, here's a little advert as well. So it says here, you'll receive a 5% hammer price bonus for your first submission, or we'll buy them up to 90% market value. See, that's pretty good going considering, you know, the standard vendor rate is like 70-80%. I think that's a very good like first time. Ooh, I do love this Umbreon though. Not gonna lie. Lightly played. So let's see, what makes you lightly played? I think I can definitely see the whitening around the edges here. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, I did not mean to click that. I just wanted to... But you can see, like, this tool is really good just to spot, like, all these little imperfections on the corners. And then I do like that you can catch the light and you will be able to pick up any sort of, like, surface defects. Because the general rule for me and my binder, like my personal collection stuff is I like stuff being minty, but I don't necessarily need it to be like PSA 10 worthy. You know, I'm the sort of guy who would be cracking like PSA 8s or even 7s to get like a good quality raw card. Love this Greninja as well. My mate Pokerips on what, oh my god, my brain went on whatnot. Um, he's I know he's been dying for this card recently, like because he purely collects. He's been doing like Twilight Masquerade and Crimson Haze, and this is just the one card that's evaded him. And I know he loves Greninja. If you see this video, dude, come get yourself a good Greninja here. So we've got Charizard 151. This Groudon is sick. I love this Cosmo Hollow foil that they have around the edges. I really wish that they would do that more often with the cards or bring it back. I know it's like on the like the promos, I think, that come out like the blister packs. But I don't know, I think they need to put them into like the main sets again. I think it would make the rare cards a lot more, I should say, funky. I don't know, just it makes the rare just look a bit more interesting. I know Cynthia's Garchomp is a big card in Destined Rivals. I can see why. I mean, I don't know. Cynthia's been growing on me a little bit. If anyone knows, like my personal collection, like I love trainer cards, and I wish I had a few more of her in it. Obviously, we have the stunning Mega Dragonite from Mega Dream. I do still need this card. I think I'm about 7 cards away from finishing the master set for this set. Oh no, I'm nowhere near master setting because I've got all the card variations. But I'll be honest, like you can pick those up really cheap on Japanese sites, so you don't have to go through the pain of, oh, excuse me, of ripping a million packs. Pikachu as well. People argue it's one of the best cards in the set for Mega Dream. It's alright. Like I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think it beats the Mega Dragonite for me. For personally, my favourite out of the Mega Dream SARs is the Mega Frostlass. I think it's quite slept on. But yeah, this is another card that I still need. And £87, 4 days to go. This is probably still going to pop off. £31, there is potential for a good deal here. It just depends on... I find that some weeks the cards will really push the excess, like well above market. But in other weeks you can pick things up at a really, really good price. I'm trying to remember the card that I picked. Oh, what was it? It was a Sun and Moon era. I think it was Mina. There was like a trainer card. I got it for like £20 under market. I have no idea how I got it so cheap. Maybe it's something I'm missing, but I thought it was a really good deal. So I got the 197 Umbreon from Crossing the Ruins, the Japanese set, or Neo Discovery. Very popular card for obvious reasons. The holo on this goes really hard, and it is a beautiful, beautiful example of an Umbreon. For my personal collection, would love to have it at some point. But I've got collections I need to finish, so I have to prioritize a little bit. This Charizard is sick, by the way. I think it's really underrated, to be honest. Like, I don't know, the colours go really hard on it. I do like the gemstone effect on it as well. Like, it looks like a quartz and ruby or something. It looks really, really good. So if anyone is looking to get a really cool Charizard, we have that at a fixed price of 175. Not sure what that is compared to market at the moment, but I think I think even if it is slightly over market, I think if you see a card and you know that it is going to be in absolutely sublime condition when it comes, um, I mean, me personally would be happy to pay a little bit more for that, just for that reassurance, you know. Vaporeon from Prismatic. I do need to pick up the Japanese versions of these because they are a bit of a steal at the moment, apart from obviously the Sunbreon. But the other variants of these cards in Japanese are actually a good price at the moment. I'd highly recommend grabbing the Japanese versions if you are just wanting them in the collection. Hiroshima's Pikachu, which is obviously in the promo boxes that came out in Japan. Um, I'm looking to pick these boxes up for my own personal collection at some point because, again, once these boxes go out of print, they become very desirable. Not necessarily looking to make it is an investment in my eyes because I think the cards are nice, but I don't know, they're not like my kind of cards. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but again, nice little pickup at £53 currently. Again, one of those lovely Cosmo foil cards, which I really like. Raikou and Entei. I would like the full set. I have the Suicune from Neo Revelation in Japanese still. I would like to get the Raikou and the Entei in Japanese also. So now that we've looked at some of the higher end cards, let's drop down to some of the lower end cards because some good stuff in here sometimes. And right away I'm like, oh yeah, like some trainer cards. Not necessarily ones I'd pick up, but I know a lot of people would look at these and be like, okay, they're cool. Paldean Student, only £1 at the moment. I know this was quite a popular card when it came out. Another Paldean Student. Got Kyrium EX, a black and white promo. See, like, oh, mod played, so let's take a look. Yeah, it's a bit battered. You can see that massive crease just there. So you're gonna in this sort of category, you're gonna see a lot of like EXs and like trainer cards and things you might be a bit like, it's a bit not necessarily conventionally like collectible, but if you've got sets that you have on the go which are missing a card or two, like these can be really good. And cute, just little cute cards like this one, like this Clefairy's really nice, and at £1, like you can't really complain, can you? To be honest. And there's things like this. So someone doing a Stellar Crown collection might be missing this really cool EX of Lapras. And I'll be honest, these cards really go under the radar on this website. So you could be picking these up at a really good price if you wanted to. And then there's things like this that I'd be picking up, like when I was finishing off or trying to finish my Phantasmal Flame set. You can get the full art trainer cards and stuff at a good price. Let's see what else we can find in here. I really love this Grotle card. No, we're not restarting my PC. Leave me alone. So it turns out my PC had other plans and I was gonna restart. But we're back, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, Grotle. I really enjoy this card. I like the Marils just riding on top, being little dudes. Palafin. It's a cool card. The missus picked that up for her own personal collection recently. What else have we got? I know. So I know there is also like obviously a lot of like nothing cards on here, but there's always something for somebody. I know I picked the hollow up for this one, which I quite liked. So you can see we've got some. So I have like a nice little mix because you will have the Japanese stuff like layered in with the English stuff, and you can obviously filter everything down to what you're looking for. So you got your price ranges. You can just see the premiere auctions, the series that you're looking for, the condition. It's all there to make it easy for you to go through the site. I quite like this Alolan Ninetales. It's pretty cool. I always like these cards with the big stamps across the front. I might have to look at getting that. I was gonna say that's Mega Dream, but no, it's Oh no, that is Mega Dream. They've just so yeah, there will sometimes be mislabels, I think. But I think that's because this might have been in the Glory of Team Rocket set. I can't remember off the top of my head. Because obviously the high class sets are just reprints a lot of the time. So if you're looking for any sort of like reverse hollows and stuff for cards, I might actually have to go through here and pick up some of these because I do actually need some of these. What else do we have? So you obviously got a bit of vintage that kicks about as well. The fourth prints, nothing crazy, but you know, it's very desirable to have in your collections a lot of the time. Um, got some of the trick and trade promos here with that really nice Cosmo foil pattern. I actually really like this card. I think it's very pretty. Well, we got some Twilight Masquerade, EXs. So, you know, you've got to sift through the stuff to find the stuff that you need. So, say you're collecting Gym Challenge, you might need this Koga's Ekans. And, yeah, it's a bit beat up, but if it's something you need for your collection, you might consider it. But ultimately, guys, I think it's definitely not a bad way to go about looking for stuff to buy for your personal collection or things to be graded. Um, But with that being said, I don't want to waffle on for too long. I just wanted to show you guys the website, give you a feel for what it does, what purpose it can serve you, and help you expand your collection a little bit better. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in. If you've hung around for this long, please drop the video a like and subscribe, please. Ungraded, sponsor me. um, but I'm going to do more of these videos. I'm going to maybe do like a weekly recap of each like auction that's going on, just to sort of fill you guys in a bit of a more visual way of some of my big picks at the auctions each week. But for this like first one, I just wanted to give you guys like a general sort of like run around of the site and just sort of show you how things roll, basically. But with that all being said and done, love you all, guys. Have a fantastic week, and I'll be back again next week. See you.